Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, I am Psychic Bella Love, and you can always book your own personal and private reading on my website, psychicbellalove.com. And for the month of April, you can use code Easter, all in caps, to take an extra $15 off any reading. We now offer video readings on the site. Also, I only do readings via appointment on the site. So if you ever get some offer to do a reading with me from Instagram DMs, that is not me. So anyways, let's take a look at what in the heck is Tokyo Toni's problem with her daughter, Angela. Some days she says, things that are true in regards to the whole Illuminati situation. But on the flip side, it's obviously very personally directed at her daughter. And we saw that, one day she was crying and saying that she wanted her daughter to turn her life around. And then as soon as Chyna goes and gets the Baphomet tattoo removed and starts to do all the things that Toni's been saying that she wanted her to do, now she's wishing that she will no longer walk this earth and saying the most horrendous things about her again and saying she doesn't believe it. So let's see what's going on. I kind of have avoided doing any readings on this because I'm just like, the frantic energy of certain people is a lot to connect to, and it's like, let me make sure I don't have to do anything important after this so that I can go cleanse my own energy afterwards. So please tell us what is going on with Tokyo Toni and her feelings, views, relationship when it comes to her daughter, Blac Chyna, aka Angela White. Thank you. And if you ever did want to know more about the Illuminati, which is basically the Freemasons anyways, you can always join my Patreon. That is the only place that I really do talk about that kind of stuff. It's also the only place where I take requests for video readings. I do not take them on YouTube. Please do not DM me requests for readings on Instagram. You have to join the Patreon for that. And we also go live every week. I post most days per week, and we talk about the Illuminati, conspiracy theories, history, religion, all that kind of stuff. So on top of the normal celebrity gossip type things. So that will be linked down below, where you can go to patreon.com/psychicbellalove. And we will be going live this Saturday, because today is Wednesday, April 5th, 2023, but this will probably be uploaded the following week. So, but we will be live most Saturdays now. So I always will post the links in my Instagram stories as well as on my community tab. And all other relevant information will always be linked in the description box below. So let's see what's going on here. Okay, the first thing that's coming up in the underlying energy is a lot of this is connected to Chyna's dad. Spirit's saying that she, despite whatever it is that she says these days, like, oh, it was 15 seconds and it sucked and I didn't care about him, and all the things that she said about it. What Spirit's saying is that she actually had developed feelings for that man. She was devastated to figure out that not only was he involved with somebody else or married, but that he wasn't going to leave that situation to come be a happy family with her, because she saw that pregnancy as her way out of a life that she was unhappy with. And ever since then, she has felt this grudge of sorts when it comes to her daughter. Like, I had to bear all of this responsibility and do all of these things to support and raise a child that I basically had to trap somebody else and didn't want to have to like raise on my own. And then everybody else around me had more success, more financial opportunities. Not only Chyna, but also it's talking about the dad did somewhat well for himself. Not that he was rich or anything like that, but he was much more financially stable than Toni was. And so this is the underlying energy talking about, you know, her feeling a fool behind this man. Like, oh, like he put me in this position. So because she felt like she ended up not trapping him, but getting trapped in this situation. I'm sorry the lighting is so weird today. I don't know. I think it's just whatever's going on. I apologize. But it was like, so everything looks like funky and then yellowish too for some reason. So she felt like she's the one that ended up getting scammed in this situation. And I had to bear all this responsibility for this family that I tried to create with you that ended up backfiring on me. And again, you know, it's like he was able in her eyes to just live his life and leave her with all of the responsibility. She also felt like it stood in the way of her being able to find other opportunities in the love department. Like, oh, like not so many people wanted to date a single mother, or if they did, they didn't take me as seriously as if I would have not had a child. And this is her perception, you know, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily true. It's just her perception of things. And so there is this bitterness about the way that life turns out for me and taking it out on others rather than just understanding either the choices that I made that led me here or understanding that I chose to have a child. Therefore, it's not her responsibility that things didn't work out. So now the problem is that she feels like it's been Chyna's responsibility as the child. You lucked up in life. You got all of these opportunities. You should be taking care of me because I was your mother. And you don't, at least not to the degree that I wanted you to. So it's like, I don't know if you guys remember, like years ago, Chyna and Rob bought her mom like a Nissan. In Tokyo's eyes, well, why didn't you get me a Mercedes? You guys are driving around in luxury cars. Why was it just that I got this little Nissan? Whereas, you know, to anybody else, it's like, you got a free car, you know, and it was a new car. Like it was still a nice car, you know. I mean, shit, I don't even care if somebody wants to give me a Nissan, I'll take it. You know, it's like she thinks that, you know, and Spirit's saying Chyna's helped her mom out so much over the years, giving her money, helping her move, helping her get into apartments. But again, to Toni, she feels like you should have, you know, because you're living in a nice, beautiful house in the middle of Beverly Hills. I wanted a house in Beverly Hills too. Like, if you're not going to put me up in your mansion, then I should have gotten the one next door. Like, she just expects that, like, Chyna is supposed to, like, have her mom living at the same amount of luxury that she is. But the thing that Spirit's saying is, even, number one, Chyna didn't have it like that. She did what she could for her mom. And secondly, what Spirit's saying is, even if Chyna would have done all that stuff, like, okay, I bought you a house, I retired you, you don't ever have to work ever again, here's $3 million in the bank, here's a Benz, go live like you're, you know, Kris Jenner too, but you don't have to like do all of the, you know, witchcraft and PR stunts and everything that Kris does to have that life. Toni would still find something to complain about and take out on Chyna and mistreat her. She cannot help herself. She has a very deep resentment towards Chyna. Spirit saying, you know, it's that then she would be mad. I don't have the level of fame that you have. Yeah, I have the riches. Yeah, I have the luxury life, but I want all the attention that you get. There's always going to be something as far as Toni is concerned that Chyna isn't doing enough for her. And, you know, I should have gotten that. And that's the thing that really, I think, is the darkest part about it. Spirit saying that if she really could, she would take all of that away from Chyna and have it for herself and make Chyna be the one that was dependent on her instead. Like, I should have gotten that. I was the original. You look like me. You wouldn't have been who you are if I hadn't gave birth to you, and if you hadn't had my face and my body that I passed on to you. I should have gotten it. How dare you get it? And it's that it should have been me instead of you that really is disgusting. Because, you know, that's what you're supposed to do as a parent, is want more for your kid. I have a kid. I want him to do way better in life than I ever did. I want him to be happier than I've ever been. I want him to have everything that I never had. And that's how most parents feel. But then when you get those toxic ones who are jealous of their kids and resent them, you get a Tokyo Toni type situation. And that's where we're at right now with her. So Spirit's saying basically, Chyna's back is kind of against the wall. Toni's not going to change. Because not that people are incapable of changing for the better, but there's two things here. Toni doesn't see that there's anything wrong with her, nor is she going to go and get help for it. Number two, this has become her way of getting attention, her moneymaker, constantly speaking about her daughter and speaking on her and talking about whatever she's got going on. And so Spirit's saying, you know, it's like every time if Chyna goes and tries to forgive her mom and work through things with her, it's, you know, always this false thing. Like, my mom pretended like she wanted to make up with me. She pretended like she loves me. She pretended like she's sorry, only for us to turn around and be right back in battle with one another again because she thought I had better toilet paper in my house. Like, you know, it'll be any little thing. It will set off Toni, and we're back to square one of her really coming down hard on her daughter again. So, you know, like Spirit said, Chyna's back is against the wall. Does she want to have a good relationship with her mom? Of course. That's all she wants, is for her mom to love her, to just respect her, to treat her decently. But there's a part of her that understands that she has to let this go because she's never going to get better out of this relationship. And Spirit said a big part of Chyna's healing journey that she's on is learning how to mother herself and heal that inner child. And to be honest with you, it's coming up that she's honestly, which she's not that kind of a person anyways, there's a part of her that's terrified of becoming her mom, especially now that she has her own daughter. I don't want to turn into that person that hates their own child and resents them. And because she's had so many issues, obviously, with her daughter's father, it's like, I don't want to turn into that person that because I, you know, can't always get along with your dad, that somehow you're going to get caught in the middle of this. And so that's a big part of like what has spurred her to try to work on herself and heal. this is the thing, and you know, Chyna has a bunch of opportunities coming her way. She's showing up with, really, her star is on the rise. She's going to see that she's going to make a ton of money. All these opportunities are going to come her way. And with that, unfortunately, I mean, I think everybody can guess what I'm going to say next. Here comes Toni trying to screw it all up for her again, trying to mess with her. And, you know, the thing is, too, that Spirit's saying, Toni knows. It's like she senses, like, oh, if I start attacking you, that's going to mess with you mentally. And maybe that's going to F up some of the stuff that you have going on. And she's purposely doing it because she's allowed all of these negative feelings to fester within her so much that it has turned into downright hatred towards her child. And so there is this very vengeful, I want to put you in a negative place so that way you're so beaten down by the things that I'm doing and saying online that you screw up that audition for that big movie that, you know, you've really wanted, that you can't get out of bed because you're crying all day, so you couldn't make it to a meeting that was going to bring you millions of dollars, and they gave that opportunity to somebody else. Like, it's very purposeful of, I am purposely doing things to hurt you because I am in such a devious, vengeful, immature place that I want things to go wrong for you. Okay, this is why I didn't want to do this reading on this situation for so long. The fact that, you know, this explains a lot of maybe some of the negative behaviors that we've seen from Chyna in the past. You know, are you texting other bitches, yes or no? But it's incredible when you see people who've had mothers like this that are still able to have good female relationships, that are able to still get up every day and work, you know, and accomplish things for themselves in spite of the fact that, you know, they've basically been bullied from day one by their own mother and know deep down inside, my mom doesn't love me, and that really fucks with you. You know, it really does when you have a really narcissistic, toxic parent, especially as a daughter when it is your mom, because, you know, the same-sex parent is always the reflection of our own identity. And so, you know, when it's like my own mom doesn't love me, you really feel inherently like something is wrong with you. I mean, I can relate. I have a similar mother, unfortunately. So, it's like, if you're on my Patreon, you know, talked about that a little bit in there. But it's hard. It's really painful and it's really hard. And so I feel really, really bad for... I need to start calling her Angela. I know that's what she wants to be referred to. I will get there. I'm sorry. I'm the kind of person that if I get to know you as a nickname, I will probably never call you by your real name ever again, because it's just whatever I meet you as is whatever sticks in my head. So I'm not doing it on purpose. I know I'm trying to be respectful to Angela because I know that she wants to go by Angela. So let's see if there's anything else that Spirit has to say. You know what? Okay, I saw a video where, and again, like I said, some of the stuff Toni says about the Illuminati is real. Some of it, like when she was posting videos saying that they had been in her backyard and was showing pictures of her bushes. Okay. Just because you were a part of something doesn't mean that the whole entire Illuminati was after you, first and foremost. And secondly, nobody had been in her backyard. And Spirit's saying, like, number one, she knows that, but number two, she does work herself up into these paranoid, delusional states. And don't be surprised if we don't suddenly see that she got a 5150 on her because she was acting erratically, driving around, ranting and raving, and that somebody figured out where she was and called the authorities and said that she needs help. You know, I'm not a doctor. I'm not diagnosing anybody with anything, but I do think that some mental help would do her good. But again, all of us can benefit from therapy, either to heal things that have happened or as a preventative measure. But, you know, it's obviously in her case, I think we can all agree, like, she should get some help because this isn't healthy. It's not making her happy. Living in hate doesn't make anybody happy, especially when it is your own child. So, but I just had this flash of her on live getting hauled out of the car, you know, and getting put on the side of the road and handcuffed. Not because she's being arrested, but because, you know, it's like, okay, we have a social worker here, but we also had to get the police because you were driving around while you were, you know, making people scared for your mental state. So it's not a surprise her and Jaguar Ride, you know, have whatever they've got going on. I don't even pay any attention to Jaguar these days because she's also lost the plot. But, you know, birds of a feather, right? So, I mean, it's just sad because it's just like really like she literally sits around thinking of and plotting, what can I complain about my child next? What can I get views off of? How can this bring money into me while also at the same time taking things away from her? Because she's at the point where, again, I do not want her to be successful. I don't want any good to come to her. And Spirit's saying that Chyna has people around her that have been telling her that she needs to put a no contact order and a gag order on her mom for her own safety, for her own peace of mind. This is something that Spirit's saying, the idea of doing that really, really hurts her. Because it's like, who wants to have to do that to their parent? Like, why can't my mom just, if you don't like me, fine, go talk about something else, leave me alone. You know, why do you have to bully me online constantly, but don't push me to have to be at this place where this is now what everybody around me is telling that I need to do, because they literally feel like Toni might show up and physically attack her or hurt her at this point. And on top of it, again, the peace of mind thing, like, if you do this, then she's not allowed to speak about you anymore. So at least she would have to talk about other things and leave you alone. And at least that helps you moving forwards in this healing journey that you're on. So there's no real resolution to this situation. Like I said earlier, it's just her back's against the wall. She's going to either have to just do whatever she can to tune her mom out, or make her stop, which I don't see her wanting to do. I feel like the police might make her, you know, if she gets locked up for this stuff, but I don't feel Chyna wanting to do that herself. But they'll have one more like reconnection, and then I feel like Chyna's gonna have to completely cut her mom off for good. So anyways, guys, like, that's so depressing. I feel bad for her. I really do. I mean, you know, I've never disliked Chyna. I've always just kind of, you know, felt like she seems sweet, and I know a lot of people like her and everything, but I wasn't overly like invested in what she had going on. But it's impossible to ignore what her mom's doing, especially because the blogs keep reposting it. And I think, you know, I know to them, oh, well, it's an attention grabber and it's drama and this and that, but it doesn't help anything when they keep reposting it. It just feels Toni, because then she's getting attention and she feels like she's special because she's getting posted on the blogs. And then it's just, you know, again, more damage to Chyna and hurts her more. So I hope that they will tune her out at some point. But anyways, guys, I'm going to end that here. Let's pray for Chyna's healing and that she can find a way to really tune her mom out and really focus on her and what she has going on. And I hope everybody else is healed if you had a toxic parent. I know it's not easy for anybody that also has been going through this journey themselves, and I'm sure it's triggering to a lot of people when we do see Toni going off on this stuff. But, you know, put the prayer hands emoji in the comments below if you want to send love to Chyna. And I have all my information linked in the description box below. I love all of you, and I will see y'all later. Bye.